Okay.
All right. What all did you machine on this? You convert a b5m to a b6.
Right, because it's the budget way of doing racing.
The budget way?
Yeah, when you have kids, you have to have a budget in mind. So yeah, I made a motor plate.
Okay.
I made the.
How'd you make the motor plate?
I made the motor plate out of 1/8" aluminum.
Okay.
And basically, I put the motor in there, and I needed to find out how tall it needed to be off the chassis.
Okay.
And how far back I could get to the transmission.
My question is, how do you get the dimensions to make this motor plate?
Basically, you drill like the half of the transmission comes in half. So you can drill from the back side, from the inside of the transmission, out, and then that gives you your 3 holes, your countersunk holes underneath the spur gear.
Okay.
Once you get that mounted, then you put the transmission into the chassis and find out what level to the chassis is. Then you need to find out how far, or the diameter of the motor, which half of it would be the diameter, and then that gives you the center of where the pinion has to be off the chassis.
Okay.
Then you got to measure the 2 bolt patterns,
Yep.
and then you make your slots from there.
Okay, okay. Let's move on to
Now this is more complicated. Now the C block is yeah, you have to measure how far from the edge to the center of the hole. Then you have to measure from the center to the chassis for how far it has to be to get your center of the block. So when you have your adjustments, you go 1 degree or ½ degree up or down. Same thing with the rear block. But I had to mill the chassis narrower to clearance everything. So if I wanted to make the arms in further, I had to have this narrower so that when you put an insert to move everything in, it wouldn't hit the chassis. So I milled that narrower, and then I had to count whatever that width was and make it into the D block so that it would center up the back part of the chassis. Yeah, so there's 6 hours or 6 lunch hours of machining on the car, but it did save me $600.
What about your ball stud mount?
My ball stud,
the rear brace.
The rear? Yeah. I have a T in it right there. It's a tongue and groove. And what that does is, so when it tightens up, even if it comes up loose, it still wouldn't have any play in it.
Okay.
You know, because I was worried about that. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, and your shock tower.
Shock tower is basically the same geometry as a B5. I knew what I needed for my droop in it. So I put the droop and then put the shock to where the droop was after I mounted the shock tower to the transmission, and drilled it in the same spot. So my dimensions are the same as a B5. I don't know what a B6 is because I've never put a B6 shock tower on it.
Okay. Front end mods there?
The front end mod, I basically put B6 caster blocks and B6 spindles and B6 spindle arms.
Okay.
Other than that, everything's stock. Oh no, actually it isn't stock. It has another hole because the factory guys were drilling another hole in the B5 arms.
Okay.
So it's like a B6 arm, but made out of a B5. So, but it runs good. I mean, I run stock class. It run a 19.4 fast class, fast lap.
Question is, what does it weigh now?
It's 20 grams heavier than a B6.
20 grams heavier?
Yeah.
And still kicking B6 butt?
I don't know if it kicks. I mean, my reflexes are not as good as some of the younger generation kids, you know what I mean? So it makes me feel good going on the track. So.
What tires did you select?
I put gold dirt webs. They're old. It's just like the car. I'm cheap.
Dirt webs front too? Yeah,
gold dirt web fronts, 2.2 instead of 2.4s. They had the option.
Shock oils and pistons?
Shock oil would be similar to a B6. I have 1.6 pistons with 32 weight in the front with white springs. The rear I have 1.7 pistons with 30 weight with green springs. So it would be the same as if you bought a B6 stock.
And you mounted, what you think about mounting the shocks on the back?
I haven't tried them in the front because I got to buy a set of arms.
I like them in the back. It makes the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like traction.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get a set of arms eventually, but that's not this week.
All right. Thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome.
So are you glad to be back racing now?
Yeah, glad to be out here racing. Atlanta is always a good round for me. Super fun track. people here, and always a good fan base.
Okay. Are you and Freezy still friends, or that's done?
No, I'm not a fan. I don't like the kid. I haven't liked him for a while. Just kind of a punk kid. That's me.
So y'all gonna go out to lunch together?
Oh no, he's on smashing or something like that.
So you ain't gonna invite him over to the house and y'all watch the game? Or?
The closest we'll get is here.
Okay. But like I said, come up and check us out, Bennett Compound.
Yeah, definitely. I got time.